My name's Annalise Plinus, and I am 12.
My name is Stan McCullough, and I'm 60 years old.
I'm Gavin Dugan, and I'm 10 years old.
My name is Cindy McCullough. I am 59 years old.
My name is Mara, and I'm 7 years old.
My name is Emma Lamp. I am 30 years old.
Hi, I'm Lily, and I'm 11.
My name's Daniel Lamp, and I'm 34 years old.
I'm Lauren Bierke. I'm 15 years old.
My name is Nora, and I am 7 years old.
I'm Kaylee, and I'm 15 years old.
My life before Jesus was subdued. My dad passed away. He was my best friend. I was 8 years old. When I lost him, it was like my whole world crashed. I lost my sister when she was 6 and I was 3. 8 years old, I lost my dad. It was just me and my mom. I had to grow up real fast and be the man of the house. I started getting into the wrong crowds. I drank alcohol, did some drugs at that time, ran away from Christ. Similar to Jonah, I ran away. Wasn't happy with myself. Something was missing. Then I woke up one day and looked in the mirror and I went, wow, I'm missing out on a lot of stuff that I threw away and cursed God and everything. And I got on my knees and prayed that He'd forgive me. And I needed help. So I started praying to God and reading my Bible and getting back into church. And I went into church.
My life before Jesus, I know I was a pretty mean kid, and I was told I had a lying problem. I don't remember that much, though, because I was 5. I know I definitely was a bully, especially to my brother.
Don't really remember what my life was before Jesus, because I started following him when I was little, really little.
It was kind of like, it was all dark, nothing to stand on, blank dark. You tell me what to do. When I was little, I thought church wasn't a big deal, but I know it is, and I would have followed Jesus for all of my life.
Before we started to learn about Jesus, me and Nate would fight more often than usually.
I've gone to church since I was a baby pretty much, but I've never formed a relationship with him. I barely prayed, I barely read my Bible. It was just I go to church and leave it at that. I was diagnosed with a bunch of health issues and stuff, and that got really bad around middle school because in middle school I had lost a few family members in a span of a few months, and I developed a lot of mental health issues as well, and so I just kind of was angry, and I got away from Christianity. I didn't believe as much. I still went to church, but that was because I had to. But I didn't believe in him. I was angry at him. I was like, why did he do this to me? I've gone to church my whole life. Was going to camp and convention, and one camp is when I really shifted, and I was believing in him again, but I still didn't have a relationship formed. Then this past year, I felt something really shift in me at convention. I felt more connected, but I didn't really pray or read my Bible still.
I've been in and out of dark places, events, and around people throughout my life. I was placed several times with my grandparents and other people who came in and helped save my life. When I was in elementary school here in town, there was people with big boxes in front of the elementary school, and they were handing out tiny little books. And I was curious, and I went up there, and I found out that they were little Bibles, red and white Bibles. So I got me one of each. That and my grandparents are what saved me from the start. I didn't think I was more or less living on the fence, if you will, until recently.
Before I knew Christ, I was very lonely and scared. When I was born, my mom and dad did drugs. Since my mom and dad did drugs, I got sent to foster care, and then my other mom and dad, they wanted to adopt me.
My life before Jesus was very, I'd say complicated. I was introduced to Jesus when I was around like 7 years old. Around like 6th grade, as I was like starting out middle school, I started to like rebel against God, I guess. I just didn't like anything about him, mainly because I had like been scared into Christianity a few times, so it kind of like put a bad persona out for me. I leaned on astrology, crystals, zodiac sign, all of that stuff, unfortunately. One of the things that I started to struggle with early on was lust. I had really bad anxiety, fell into a really big depression because I felt like I wasn't loved. Nobody liked me. I thought everyone hated me. It was to the point to where my anxiety and depression was getting so bad that I, for a full week, was having panic attacks left and right. A lot of the times, people that are hurt tend to hurt other people. And I used to be a really mean girl to a lot of people in school, and that's one of the things I regret. I kind of opened up to the idea of God, and, I just wanted, I guess I just kind of wanted to know what my purpose was, and
it's kind of a longer story, because when I was a kid, my grandparents got me into youth Sunday school and camps and stuff like that, but then my parents and their lifestyles kind of molded me away from it. I didn't have the opportunities for it, so until I actually came to Bridge Church, I kind of just was reckless, mostly before my family. After my family, I wasn't as bad, but looking back, there was definitely no Jesus or anything like that in my life. A big absence, and I really wasn't the best of person looking back.
I didn't grow up in a home where they really believed or talked about believing. In fact, the home that I grew up in was completely the opposite. My father's side of the family did believe, but when my grandpa passed away, they stopped really attending any service, didn't really talk about things. So there wasn't a whole lot of support or pull. And I don't know, it was just kind of a void. I didn't really fit in with my mom's beliefs, but I also didn't really know what else to believe. It was just kind of empty.
How he changed my life? I would say I'm definitely a lot less mean. I don't have a lying problem anymore. That got a lot better. I found I'm more friendly especially to people I don't know yet, and I used to be pretty closed off. He made me friendlier.
I've seen God change things in my life by the clarity, not being fogged over with indecisions. There was a couple times I cried out to God on my hands and knees. I was comforted, and without knowing how it happened, I was suddenly moved out of a situation, out of an area, and out of a job into another. Brought me stability, a safe place where I could sort things out. I found out that I didn't have to keep looking around at trying different shoes on before I found the right one to fit. I was taken out of that. I was often provided for when there was no authority figure to do that as a child. He got me through all that.
I've seen him help me find more hope and not letting me give up. He also helped me when I was scared, and I prayed to him. Felt more secure and more not scared and anxious.
And there was a tornado and Howie she wouldn't come downstairs. I was really frightened if Mom and I would be okay, but they made it downstairs when the tornado, and it did not get our house. He protected us when it was tough.
I feel it's made me like a stronger person in a way. I feel like I've been going more outside of my comfort zone than I used to, and I feel like I've just been more like happy. Like I used to have a lot of bad, like negative thoughts of doing like irreversible things, and I feel like I haven't had any since, and I haven't had any thoughts of like harming myself or anything like that. And like now I've been actually inviting people to church, trying to get them to come. And
I used to be lonely and scared, and now I'm not, because God has turned my life around. I've chose to read my Bible more. I feel like my relationship with God has gotten stronger.
I've seen God work miracles with me and for me to provide us with everything we need and extra so that we can help out others. But yeah, he's moved mountains. I mean, I'm walking. I could have came out of that surgery and never walked again. But he's not done with me. He's got something planned for me.
Since we started our journey here at Bridge Church, actually this year, it's just felt right. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't have that aha moment. Just feels like it's supposed to.
I've seen God definitely he's changed a lot of my perspective on things mainly. Like I said, I used to, hate on everyone and stuff like that. As I started to kind of deepen my relationship with God, I realized that you shouldn't judge other people that hurt you, but you should love them and pray for them anyway, even though they wronged you. Because I used to be that person that hurt everyone around me. And sometimes, I do still struggle with judgment. He's kind of changed my perspective on it's everyone's first time living. You get to choose how you want to live your life and what you do. You have choices. You shouldn't hate on other people for their life choices, because at the end of the day, we're all sinners, we sin. It's just, you gotta pick and choose if you're gonna repent or keep going down that.
How I've seen God impact my life, I've kind of taken to heart a lot of the sermons about opening your heart and kind of looking at it through other people's perspective too, because there was people that have done me wrong in the past and stuff, and I'm kind of looking at it different, especially like this last one. Is there a reason for me to actually be angry with these people? And I've been able to also try reaching out to some people that have been a negative in my past and stuff like that. And
there was an accident. I broke my neck in 3 places. I was told that I would be paralyzed. After getting my neck surgically and fixed and things put back, I was very into my prayers. I had nothing to do for months, and I focused that time, and my healing became stated by a doctor. It was over a month faster than anyone else. They had been taken care of before me. Miraculous healings, speedy recoveries. People brought in and out of my life at times where I was pulling a Jonah and I didn't care anymore. I didn't want to be around anymore. I was done. He wasn't done with me.
I went to camp this past summer, and I was at one of the services, and he just was talking about something that really hit. That was the first night, and I felt just something come off my shoulders a bit. The second night, I gave my life to Jesus again. After that night, I felt happier, just I didn't have many worries. All the negative thoughts I had just kind of disappeared. On the last night, we were praying over something. I don't really necessarily remember what, but I felt like I had a calling to go into the ministry or missionary. After that, I really have been praying and reading my Bible and just trying to form a relationship with God.
Since we started coming to church, actually a few weeks in, when we first started coming, the Compassion Project was here. And we actually started sponsoring a child from Haiti, and we've been able to correspond with her a little. And if it wasn't, for coming here and all that, we wouldn't have even known that was a thing, let alone, started doing that. And so that's been a really good experience.
That's another part that's hard about it all too, is because I do know that there's so much more flaws that I'm trying to work on, but they're not fixed yet. I was the guy that every other word was a swear word, and I still, not even realizing it sometimes, say stuff I shouldn't say. I'm not even close to where I want to be, but I know my faults now. I can see them, I can see what I gotta do, and I've been trying to. Personally, it's helped me become a stronger person, I believe, a better person, and I feel like I'm not totally there yet, but every single day I'm getting closer.
He has delivered me from a lot of my fear, anxiety, and depression, and suicidal thoughts, which I'm very thankful for. I used to believe all of these lies, that I was worthless, and even when I was a lukewarm Christian, that I could never go back to God because he can't forgive me, or I've gone too far off the deep end, that it's just worthless to do. And I believed that lie for so long. Even hear people here at youth group telling me, like, you're not too far gone. But I was like, okay. Like, I was like, yeah, okay. But I never truly believed it. A couple of weeks ago, I'd say, is when I truly believed that you're not too far off and you can go back to God.
I hear you guys saying something when we're at church and about God moving in your life. And I've seen it. I'm walking now because of it. My back doesn't hurt anymore. It's just I'm still numb from the legs to the feet till the nerves reconnect. Yeah, he's moved in my life in a positive way, and it's been fueling me. It's giving me fuel. I mean, I can't wait to get here on Sundays. I started reading in the New Testament first with Matthew, and now I'm all the way to Colossians. I'm reading 2 to 3 chapters every morning right after I wake up. I want to start my day with his fuel. It really helps me to center myself, because I used to have huge anger issues, and that was fueled by the drinking. And like I said, I woke up one morning, looked in the mirror and said, I'm done. I'm done drinking. It was going to kill me before I turned 60. I looked to God, and now here we are.
I decided to be baptized because I wanted to give myself fully to God.
I decided to be baptized because it just feels like the right next step for me in, my journey to, knowing Jesus, knowing God. I was never baptized as a child, so I think that this is going to be a really important thing for me, and I'm really excited to be able to share it with my husband and my daughter.
I decided to be baptized because I think it's fun and it'll wash your sins away. I want to follow Jesus, and I want to go to heaven, and I want to live eternal life.
I had opportunities not long ago to be baptized with others, and I was still living the fence and didn't realizing it. I decided to take on getting baptized, making that public dedication, knowing that alone wasn't going to be enough. I had to start praying and asking God to change me. I had to start praying and asking God to help me with open ears and repenting, and then asking forgiveness.
I believe it's just the next step into my journey of forming a relationship. I just believe it's also the right time. I've actually been praying, I've actually been reading my Bible. I think this is just my next step of now telling other people hey, I formed a relationship with God, you can too. I just think it's the right time also.
Because I've seen what God's done for me, and for the longest time there was no movement. I was just existing. But when I got and asked him to come back into my life and into my heart, soul, things started moving. And it wasn't slow, it moved fast. It was like, whoa, you are here, you do listen. And that excited me.
I've decided to get baptized because it's a strong sign to show the community that you believe in Jesus, and it's also to help my kids see that we have faith. My main goal in life is to provide for my kids, and them having Jesus in their life will really help them out, and it will also help me and my wife out. I just feel like that's the next step, and it's kind of the path that we're walking on right now.
I've decided to be baptized because I now actually know, like, the meaning behind it. Before, when I was younger, I heard the term, but I never actually knew what it was. I just thought you were getting dunked under the water for Jesus. I mean, like, I'm at the point where I am, like, truly ready to, like, take that step in my journey and actually turn away from all the things that I've done wrong in the past.
I want to be baptized because it's the next step in my faith, and I want to walk with God.
I've decided to get baptized because I feel like God is telling me to get baptized.
I would like to encourage anyone that's on the fence like I was to get into the book and read. There's so many places where it says, do this and the rest will come to you. Take them steps, but it's our responsibility to agree with God, not his responsibility to agree with us.
I would maybe tell them about a church to go to, and maybe give them a Bible or something, tell them more about God.
I would say that it's very fun learning about Jesus.
I would say go for it, that you should give your life to Jesus. It can help you a lot with your struggles and even with other people's struggles, because if you're nice to them, there's a good chance that they'll be nicer to you. Basic things with just giving your life to Jesus help a lot.
You should go to church at some of your friends, and you should read the Bible devotional and pray. But admit to follow Jesus and he'll bring you to heaven.
Give your life to Jesus and you're going to see some big changes happening. Big changes. You have faith and love and know that he exists, and he's willing to do anything to help you grow. I've done a lot of growing, and a lot of things are changing in my life as far as I pray at every meal, I pray when I go to sleep at night, I pray when I get up in the morning, and then I read a couple chapters of the Bible every morning, and yeah, it's just really turned me around.
Obviously I would say do it, give your life to Jesus. If I knew that sooner, I think my life would have been a lot better than it was. I would encourage them to, find a local church or find someone who is stronger and further in their faith, so if they have questions or they need advice about anything, they can go to that specific person or that, specific place. And, I've found out that it's a lot easier to talk to people that have been through the same struggles and are living their life for Christ. It's just easier because you have someone to lean on if you're slipping away.
My life before following Jesus, it just, I was doing things now that I regret doing. I was self-harming, I was hanging out with the wrong people and just stuff like that. And then when I found God and gave my life to him, I've now noticed I am definitely seeing the wrong in my actions from then. And I've just had a whole different perspective of life now. So I would just say I would do it because, or have them do it because it changes your life for the better. It's not it's something where it's an either or. It's you give your life and your life will start getting better. I mean, there's gonna be hard times, but the only way is to go through him and get through it.
If somebody's on the fence about believing in Jesus or not, I would tell them just to open their heart to him. I feel like once you do that, you'll feel something different. It's tough for some people to think that it's just that easy, but for me, that's how it kind of felt when we started coming here. At first, I didn't know how it was gonna go, and then by the end of the first sermon, I felt different, especially when I got a chance to pray with everybody. I felt like I was actually being heard, and it kind of help decide for us to keep coming back, because it's just something, there was a void, and it felt like it was being filled in that moment.
Just like if you're going through a tough time, just know you can't do it yourself. The only way you can do it is going through God, and once you do that, it will start getting better instead of trying to do it yourself.